This is Vernal Falls.
Vernal Falls is one of Yosemite National Park's signature hikes.
Tim, don't kick it out, man.
Push it.
Don't push it.
Stop it.
Can you push it on there?
Some of these stairs are seriously steep. Oh, this is neat. Here we are at the top of Vernal Falls. On our hike to Vernal Falls, we took the standard trail there along the left side of the river where it crosses over the river, the Merced River, and then it comes to a point here where you can take either Mist Trail or you can take the John Muir Trail up to Clark Point. We thought we were going to have to take the John Muir Trail because it says the Mist Trail is closed in winter. So we were prepared to do that. But apparently, since there hasn't been that much rain or snow this year, it's been a very mild winter, the Mist Trail was in fact open. So we took that all the way to Vernal Falls. And then instead of taking this path up to Nevada Falls, we turned around there and went up to Clark Point. And then that connects into the John Muir Trail, which gave us kind of a loop around. And we got to see a variety of different scenery on the way. Going up to Clark Point, you will hike quite a bit further up, but I'd say it's well worth it. The Vernal Falls Trailhead is located next to Happy Isles on the east side of Yosemite National Park. This is the hike to Vernal Falls. Difficult.
I got first place.
After you get to Happy Isles, you can choose to see Vernal Falls in more than one way.
Are you trying to scare people?
I promise.
You're gonna pop out and scare them? The first half of Vernal Falls here has been all paved surface, just like this, but it's a pretty steep incline. You can't really tell from the video.
The most popular option is to hike up to the top of Vernal Falls along the Mist Trail, which takes you up over 600 stairs carved out of solid granite stone. Then straight back down the stairs for a round trip of 2.4 miles. 2.4 miles may not sound like a lot, but along the Vernal Trail's hike, you will gain about 1,000 feet in elevation, which categorizes this 3-hour trek as a strenuous hike. If steep stairs and unpaved trails aren't your thing, you could cut your hike short and turn around at the Vernal Falls Footbridge, which is the first wooden bridge that crosses over the Merced River. The hike to this first footbridge is about 0.8 miles on a paved path where you'll gain about 400 feet in elevation. From the Vernal Falls footbridge, you'll have an excellent view of the Vernal Falls off in the distance. If you choose to turn around here, it'll be about 0.8 miles back down for a total round trip time of about 1 to 1.5 hours. However, after you cross the Vernal Falls footbridge is where things start to get more adventurous.
We just crossed the first bridge that crosses the Merced River, and now we're on the right side of the river, and I believe we're about to hit Mist Trail where the granite stairs are, which to my understanding in the wintertime, Mist Trail is closed according to the website, but we'll find out here shortly.
The trail is no longer paved, the views of Vernal Falls just keep getting better as you climb, and you may get drenched by the waterfall.
Does that describe how you're doing?
Yeah!
I was just about to ask.
You don't have to take Mist Trail to see Vernal Falls, and on our trip we actually didn't plan to, as the website specifically said the Mist Trail is closed in the wintertime. However, Mist Trail actually was open when we arrived. We've had a pretty mild winter this year, so the trail was not buried in snow or ice like it might be some winters. If, for whatever reason, you decide to avoid Mist Trail going up the steep granite stairs to Vernal Falls, you'll want to keep your eyes open for a fork in the trail about a quarter mile after you cross the wooden Vernal Falls Bridge. At the fork, you will choose to either go left along the Merced River and up the Mist Trail, or right up the John Muir Trail to Clark Point.
Why? This is Vernal Falls.
You can't really see the falls though.
We already walked quite a ways uphill. Now we get to do, according to the map, 600 of these granite stairs to the top of Vernal Falls. And it is wintertime, on the website it clearly says Mist Trails is closed. This is Mist Trails and it's open. It's what? It's Valentine's Day. But I mean, it's not really been like a real winter. So there hasn't been like any snowfall in like the past like 2 to 3 weeks.
The season and how strong the water flow is will dictate your experience on your hike to Vernal Falls along the Mist Trail. In the springtime, Vernal Falls water flow is at its strongest, which gives Mist Trail its name. In the springtime, you'll get absolutely blasted with the mist spraying off the waterfall, but since we did the hike in the winter, the waterfalls weren't very strong and we didn't even get damp. If possible, I'd highly recommend you follow the Mist Trail on the way up, then take the Clark Point loop back for 2 main reasons. The first reason I'd recommend you do this is because climbing up the steep granite stairs on the Mist Trail may be difficult, but climbing back down them may be even more hard on your knees and put you at greater risk to slip and fall if the granite stairs are wet and slippery from the Vernal Falls mist spraying on them. The second reason I'd recommend taking the John Muir Trail through Clark Point is because it is a bit higher elevation and offers different scenery and more spectacular views at the higher elevation. On our hike to Vernal Falls, we took the Mist Trail up the 600 plus granite stairs in the wintertime, on Valentine's Day to be specific, and the waterfalls did not spray us with mist, so we stayed dry. The cooler 55-degree Fahrenheit temperatures in the wintertime also helped us stay relatively cool and comfortable on the strenuous hike up to Vernal Falls.
6 hours straight, let's go. Tim, don't kick it out, man.
Push it.
Don't push it. Stop it.
Can you push it on her?
Oh my God. I'm under here still. It seems like the majority of these 600 stairs do not have any sort of handrail. Are your ears cold?
Yes.
Yeah. You just need this long fluffy hair to cover your ears, then you'll be alright.
No.
Yeah, there's like no handrail, so don't want to be slipping. You don't want to take that tumble. Some of these stairs are seriously steep. I'd say that's like a solid 18 inches. Like I was saying before, Mist Trails is closed in the wintertime. It is winter. It's Valentine's Day, 2020. February 14th, 2020. And I feel like this is probably part of the reason why it's normally closed off. You can see drips of water coming down there. Apparently those could be icicles falling, and I don't think you'd want an icicle falling on you from that far up. But it really hasn't been that cold. There's no ice up there. There's no snow up there. So I guess Mist Trails is open in the wintertime. Even though it doesn't say it is on the website. Perhaps I spoke too soon. Apparently there is some ice. Some ice here. And it's like 55 degrees. So I could definitely see this being a treacherous journey if this was much more icy.
Once we reached the top of Vernal Falls, we took a moment to relax and drink some water and have a snack at Emerald Pools.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. This is the top.
It's all down mountain from here, guys.
Actually, I think there might be a little more upper portion for us to do.
I don't want to hear it.
Apparently, this is how they close the gate. If it is closed. Which it's not.
Sorry. Which it's not.
Great
Great observation.
Maybe we should close it. You guys, I have a lock actually in my backpack.
While it may seem tempting to perhaps take a swim in emerald pools at the top of Vernal Falls, you definitely should not do this. The water current can be surprisingly strong, and it is a real possibility to get sucked into the Merced River and get ejected over the 317-foot Vernal Fall drop, which sadly has happened to people in the past. If you've done any research on Yosemite National Park hikes, you may already know that Mist Trail and Vernal Falls are actually just the beginning of your hike if you intend on doing the Nevada Falls hike or Half Dome. From the top of Vernal Falls, you have 3 options. 1, you can turn around and hike straight back down the 600 granite stairs you just climbed, which I don't recommend for a few reasons. It'll be hard on your knees going down the steep stairs, and it may put you at risk of slipping and falling if the stairs are wet. Also, you'll have to avoid all the people climbing the narrow stairway as you trek down the Mist Trail. The second option you have is to continue your hike onward across the next bridge that crosses the Merced River and hike up another 1,000 feet to Nevada Falls, bringing your round trip to a total of about 2,000 feet elevation gained and a total hiking time of 5 to 6 hours by the time you get down. The third option you have is the option we did, and the one I'm happy with, is to continue your hike about a quarter mile beyond the restrooms at the top of Vernal Falls, where there's a fork in the trail to either continue across the bridge to Nevada Falls or turn right and follow the cutoff trail to Clark Point.
This route, well, obviously will offer us a little bit of different scenery, but a couple people on the way down told us to take this way back because it was better views. So we're gonna give it a try for multiple different reasons here. Going down those granite steps seems like a treacherous hike. Be hard on the knees. Sabrina says she found the fastest way down. This is actually really slippery.
Right? It's because it's steep, right? This is how all of you guys are. That's what I get for stepping on it.
That is really slippery.
I know. That's what I get for stepping on it. I want to see how slippery it is.
Vernal Falls is a strenuous hike on its own, and if you take the Clark Point scenic route back, it's even more difficult.
We're like halfway down.
I can't seem to find any specs on the Clark Point cutoff trail as it's not clearly documented or labeled. Hiking to Clark Point will add quite a bit more elevation gain, I'd estimate between 500 and 1,000 feet, but once you reach the top, you'll have spectacular views of Nevada Falls, Liberty Cap, the backside of Half Dome, Vernal Falls, and just spectacular scenery in general. From Clark Point, you can follow the John Muir Trail back down the mountain through a series of mostly paved switchback turns to where it connects back into the Mist Trail at the fork near the first wooden Vernal Foothills Bridge I talked about earlier.
Well, here we are at Clark Point after coming from Vernal Falls up to Clark Point. Yeah, like we thought it was like just around the corner, but like we're like legit all the way, almost as high as Nevada Falls. You can see off in the distance there. So it is quite a bit more steps up, more than we were expecting based on what we read on the internet. But we are way up here on top now, and you definitely
Bottom, now we're here.
start from the bottom. Now we're actually here. It's actually really good scenery up here, way up here. Better than down at Vernal Falls. So yeah, here it is, Clark Point. Okay, we came down from Clark Point, and this is where it meets Mist Trail, connects back to where we came from. So we effectively did the loop, and
We do have one more.
yeah, 1 more mile left. And we're hoping that we can make it back for the Horsetail Falls, or the Fire Falls, which as today is February 14th, the Horsetail Falls is only visible from basically today through the next 2 weeks if the conditions are right. I know the waterfall is a little bit low, but we're gonna give it a try. Well, it's January 14th, so you would be able to see the fire fall had there been some waterfall coming down, but there really wasn't. So we just kind of drove by and saw back there what would have been the firefall, but there really just wasn't any water coming off of it. Overall, it's a good trip though. Thanks for watching my video here. Click the like button if you enjoyed the hike, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.